This video, we are going to learn about the OS command injection. Without reading the theoretical contents, let's dive into the practical content. That is what most people like to have. So, by clicking the access the lab in the PortSwigger website, I'm able to see this is loading the web page. So let it load. In the meantime, let's read the lab description because this is highly important. So this is a lab that contains the OS command injection vulnerability in the product stock checker feature. This application executes a shell command containing user supplied product and store IDs and returns the raw output from the command in its response. To solve the lab, we have to execute the whoami command to determine the name of the current user. So we have to determine the name of the current user. In this case, the vulnerability exists in the stock checker feature. So here we have a lot of products. This seems to be a website which you can buy products, I think. So we have a lot of products like this. So once you click any of the product, you will be able to see the description, you will be able to see the price and some other things. But here the vulnerability exists in the check stock feature itself, right? So for that, I've been opening the starting the Foxy proxy, enabling that, and after that I'm just starting the burp suite tool because this is so essential for this. So our aim is to run the whoami command. So my burp suite is starting. So and I also enabled the Foxy proxy extension. Now I'm just going to capture the check stock. Okay, so yeah, I have to move to the proxy and turn on the interception, then capturing that request. So here we have the store ID. So this is where the vulnerability exists, I think. So here stock checker feature. So the user supplied and store ID returns the raw output from the command in its response. So here you can see the application executes a shell command containing user supplied product and store ID. So and returns the raw output from the command in its response. So what we can do now is to I'm just sending this into repeater so that we will have some more understanding. So now let's check the store ID feature with a pipe symbol. I'm just going to run the whoami command. So I'm just sending that out. The response, I'm just rendering that out. Yeah, the response includes the username Peter. So this is how you solve that. So with a pipe symbol, we were able to bypass that, right? So without any kind of symbol, you won't be able to see something like that, right? So yeah, let's try with the semicolon here. Yeah, semicolon and pipe symbol. These are some of the symbols that works here, right, to get the information. So what we can do here is we have this. So we can also execute that with the whoami, and I'm just clicking here and forwarding all. Click here and I'm just stopping this. And now here you can see congratulations, you solved the lab because we were able to display the command whoami. The results will be here Peter, right? So this is a demo of OS command injection. So I'm just stopping that. I will also going to show you one more example of this OS command injection. One more lab is what we are going to do right now. So that you will have some more understanding. So here in the OS command injection, we have the blind command, like blind OS command injection with time delays. So we can just access the lab. So now we can see this lab contains a blind OS command injection vulnerability in the feedback function. In this case, this vulnerability is in the feedback function. The application executes a shell command containing the user supplied details. The output from the command is not returned in the response. To solve the lab, exploit the blind OS command injection vulnerability to cause a 10-second delay. So we have to make this a 10-second delay to get to complete the lab. So in this case, we have the feedback option. This is where the vulnerability exists. So yeah, let's move on and turn on the burp suite, and I'm just going to turn on the Foxy proxy. In this case, we are just entering some random credentials, and let's click submit to see. Thank you for submitting the feedback. So I think I just turned on this. Yeah, let's repeat. Submit. So here it is. So we have the CSRF token, the name, the email, the subject, the message, which is all available in the request. So here we can see we have to cause a delay of a 10-second delay is what we need to cause. We have a solution available. We have to modify the email parameter, and we have to cause a 10-second delay. How you can do that? We have a command for that here. So we can just use that here. Here in the email parameter, what we can do, yeah, let's enter this. So after that, I'm just going to sending this into repeater to see the response. And here is our, so yeah, by sending this, we can see the response is having a delay of 10 seconds. Still the response was not came because this is having this vulnerability and the 10-second delay happened by rendering this. So there is no render option, and you can see you were able to solve this, but if you want to see this in action, then you have to forward this. So from here you can see by entering this command, you will be using the ping command, which plus minus c plus 10 for a 10-second delay, and this localhost IP, right? So what we can do is, I'm just forwarding all, closing this. Now you can see we just solved the lab. We just caused a 10-second delay on it. So you can also search for OS command injection, like OS. If you don't know the code, in that case we entered the code, we were able to get the code from the solution itself. But in real life you can just search for OS command injection cheat sheets. So here we have command injection attack guide and payload all things, and a lot of other things like OS command injection defense cheat sheets. So OS command injection cheat sheets from the Git book. So, and a wide variety of websites, we were able to get a lot of information. From here you can see we have a lot of commands for the OS command injection. So this is how you will be able to find that. So for causing the delay, we have this, right? So we can see the command injection cheat sheets for the ping command. So with the -a, you can just ask if you don't know what this command will work, then you can just use the AI tools. So and tell the AI tools about explaining this command. So most beginners skip this. Most beginners doesn't say. Most beginners will go and directly searching for these kinds of comments in AI tools. AI tools will refuse you to give you these kinds of comments. So that is why it is recommended to go on various websites first, then only upload this. So make this comment for a 10-second delay. So here you have -i10 equal to wait 10 seconds between pings. So here we have another command that we get from there. So I'm just going to execute this from here. So I'm just intercepting it again with the credentials that we have, and here it is. Now I'm just turning on the proxy and submitting this, and we are just forwarding this into repeater, and in the repeater and in the email we are going to paste this, and I think we can just paste the symbols, just send here. So you can see the response is taking time, right? So it will take 10 seconds to respond. So you can just solve that lab like this also, right? So this is how you basically use this. If you don't know how to find the commands, then you can just use the browser, you can just use the Google. There are a wide variety of websites available for you to give you what you want. Then only use AI tools. If you directly go and use AI tools, then it will cause trouble. Like AI will not give you what you want. Like if you want to do something else, AI won't give you. So in this case we find an error like could not save, like errors will come and go, so you have to sort that out and solve that by yourself. So we have other commands available for that also. So like that you have to use various websites, various places, and edit the comments according to what you want. Use AI tools like ChatGPT. I always don't recommend only relying on ChatGPT. So here we also have the Perl command for that, for Perl based delay. So let's see if it works here. So here I'm just changing this into Perl. Okay, now let's send this to see if Perl is working or not here. Let's change in the email, let's add this with a pipe symbol, dual pipe symbol. sending that all, turning it off here. Yeah, slab sold is showing here, so here it is, seems to be sold, right? So yeah, this is how you basically use these kinds of things. If you want to know about any of the commands, then you have to visit various websites like this, and after that you can just edit that commands using tools like ChatGPT or the Grok AI, which are all good. So yeah, this is how I recommend you to perform, you recommend you to explore. So instead of relying directly on the AI tools, you have to visit these kinds of website first. Before that, you will get a code. Then only you can just edit that code online and come here. Right. So this is about it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.